Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by George Manley. How are you doing,
Yes,
sir?
indeed.
It's good to have you here. We have a few questions we'd like to ask you. First of all, what is it like working in the industry today?
I'm sorry. What's what like in the industry?
Working in the industry, the
Oh,
voiceover
working.
industry, yeah.
Well, for me, because I'm sure all of you can hear the pipes right now. I kind of fit that niche of the redneck Darth Vader. I actually do more work as a writer um, than an actor. It's something I started doing about 12 years ago, 3 years after I started acting. And I guess the last thing I did of note was helping to set up the script in a big hurry for No Game, No Life Zero, the movie. We had to, I mean, we literally got the translation on a Thursday, and we had to have the script ready by Monday so Kyle Jones could, one, write it, and two, get actors in the building to start recording their parts on Monday. Uh, no pressure. But as far as the other parts of the industry, from what I've seen, there was a time about 6 years ago where financially things were kind of on a downswing. But interestingly, I think there's been a call for more product again. So um, you're seeing more new people get into the business. People are like, wow, half my age, getting in as actors or working in technical capacities. Get my lips working, will be all right. And I'm sitting there going, it's like the speed with which things are being licensed again. It's not quite like 2004, 2005, where everybody got their grubby mitts on everything. There's still some control about, look, you're trying to sell us the seventh giant robot show in a row. Somewhere our fans are going to get tired of that, and we're going to end up eating the licensing costs because no one's buying it. But now, people are being a little more careful about what they license. There's a little more cooperation between people who create anime and people who distribute here in the U.S. about eating the costs on things. That's only from what I've heard, and my little bit of keeping my ear to the ground, because, like I said, my degree was in business administration. And a lot of the time before then, the deals for licensing were more about, okay, you pay us a flat fee and bless you. And now the deals are more like, well, you're going to get some profit from this, but you got to make this deal a little more friendly for us, because otherwise we might end up eating it a little bit in America. Um, there are some deals that are going down like that. I'm not saying everybody. I mean, I'll tell you the one deal that went down recently that kind of made me agog was when Funimation finally got the rights to Yamato 2199, and I'm like, man, good grief, how long has that been coming over on Blu-ray now? I mean, I'm sure someone in the boardroom is saying, we'd love to dub it. Here's the problem. Because, when Blu-ray came out, all of a sudden Japan and the United States were in the same region for Blu-ray, whereas they were in different regions for DVD, which means if you wanted to import something before anyone subtitled it or dubbed it, you may have potentially lost those sales. That's why things like simuldubbing is a lot bigger than it was before. Why are people doing this dub? this way as a simuldub, that's why some of those deals are getting done that way. And again, that's just me seeing, watching the developments. It's not because someone whispered in my ear. It's like, okay, I'm looking at this trend and saying to myself, that makes sense. But so people who are who are real stakeholders and keeping the business running, had to stifle a yawn there, excuse me, are making sure that the prices don't go crazy. That's another thing. If anyone who's watching, another thing that the Japanese distributors are asking is, wait until we've maxed out our Blu-ray sales over here, because the other side of that is the Japanese also import subtitled and dub-titled or dubbed packages back over to Japan. But the prices are different. And even with the import fees, the American or Australian or other English-speaking nation dub is cheaper. Like for the same number of episodes, for like a half season of TV, 13, 12, 14, whatever it is, episodes, you get that between 6,800 and 8,500 yen. Well, that's around 70 to 90 bucks. But here, the price point on that, especially if you're only getting the DVD, is 39 bucks, and for Blu-ray, sometimes only 49 or 59. And once you pay the import fees, it's either as expensive, and like I said, or less. But maybe all you want is a DVD. And there's your cat again.
Yep.
For those of you who aren't seeing it at home, there's a kitty ear on Christian's side of the Skype window here. And I don't have my camera turned on, so all of you have been spared. Anyway, so that's my perspective on the business, and then my outsider's perspective on the business, saying, well, if I was running a business, this would make sense. Why?
Wow.
I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I do it several times a day. I'm good at it.
All right. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite show you have worked on?
Sounds like you caught a hiccup there or something.
Yeah.
Oh, favorite show I've worked on?
Yes.
Ooh, now there's...
Tough one.
Well, because my duties are split between acting and writing, I would have to say, as an actor, the one thing that gave me my greatest challenge, so I can tell you it was the only time I was asked to cry on microphone, was Gravion's Vi. The deal with Hughie is he's all torn up over, the planet getting blown up, and Hughie and Zeeg's sister is actually dead, even though Hughie has made an android in her image, shades of What Are Little Girls Made Of from Star Trek. Perfect replica. He's also kind of messed up in the head because he decides it looks like my sister, but it's not really my sister, so I get to have a quote-unquote relationship with her. He's a mess. But it's like I said before we recorded, it's one of those roles I get because my voice is usually kept in reserve to be a menace to somebody who also has a deep voice. And for those of you who remember the first season of Gravion, Jason Douglas, who you might remember from Walking Dead, is the voice of Klein Sandman. And you're going, okay, who are we going to get that can sound like him Menace is this big dude that can beat up everybody and intellectually outsmart everybody. Said, well, I got news for you, Jack. That's what they call me for. But the emotional issues with the guy, and I'll just throw in as a side note, one of my favorite directors to work with there all time was Scott Mcclellan. He always found different uses for me, starting with Legend of the Mystical Ninja being Impact, the giant robot, and Those Who Hunt Elves 2. He was actually given the back half of that show, and he cast me as a character called Mary the Shepherd. He was a skinny, long-nosed dude, but I played him as vocally as if you crossed Darth Vader with Peter Cushing. Yeah. You know, he was one of those guys who was out there to strip female elves. And now I'll strip you, was one of his great lines. And I was also a thing in that show called the Tree Demon. A Tree Demon is one of these things where, you know, it's a pretty menacing character, but unfortunately, if you remember, one of Tiffany Grant's little cute characters was, as a teddy bear, could eat bonsai trees and turn them into rolls of toilet paper. So, and in the process grant wishes. Well, she granted a wish to herself that she could grow giant size. And while I'm snarling and growling at the good guys, she grows bigger and bigger and bigger and eats me and turns me into a roll of toilet paper the size of Sears Tower. But I digress. Without a doubt, acting-wise, you know, if it wasn't for Scotty, I probably wouldn't have had those opportunities. As a writer, I mean, I told you the backstory on Full Metal Panic, the second raid earlier, but I will just say what's good for public consumption, which is because there was a recurring theme of loss and fear of loss throughout Full Metal Panic. I mean, even if you watch the OAV, there's even a lost and found department on the boat. So the whole theme of the previous 12 episodes gets replayed in that, "Now really, I'm looking for nothing." And Lieutenant Clouseau, the big tough guy who can beat everybody with his arm slave, is trying to hit up the lost and found guy for, did somebody turn in some anime? And possibly manga? You know, but to have those themes running through the main character's story arcs, whether it was Kaname or Sosuke or the Louis twins, and even the big bad in second raid, was actually a portrayal of a character who had nothing to lose. And that's why he was nuts. Because one of the measures of sanity, it seems, is how well you conduct your relationships with other people. And he really doesn't care about anything, you know, except killing people. So, you know, it's nice to have a hobby. So that's those are my favorite shows to act in and write.
Okay. Now let's get to the voice acting questions. What was it like working on Goldanner?
Well, Goldanner, It's weird. I went to, for some reason, the name Goldar came to me, who's been a character in a couple of live-action Sentai shows. Not Sentai the company, but Sentai as in the team fighting shows. I think there was one that came over to America as the Space Giants and so on and so forth. But Godanner was one of those things where we put a thing to good use for us. At the time, ADV had a dual booth, and it was actually set up to where we could wire up to the one next to it as a third. And so, it was Matt Greenfield's idea to have the couples especially work the same sessions, whether it was fighting in the giant robot or having the little lover spats and everything. I proposed to, because Kelly Madison and I were the Chinese couple in that show. I actually got to go through an actual marriage proposal where I did not get turned down and had a cheering section afterwards. So the part where I ended up infected and dying wasn't so great, but it's unusual in dubbing to work off of another actor, but in that case it made sense. There was a time when they tried to bring people in like 8 at a time, 9 at a time, have your whole cast in there for a title. But that was when the stuff they were licensing was like only 1 or 2 episodes to make an OAV collection. And they found out really fast that didn't work. It's easier to get one person, smooth over their mistakes, and then bring another actor in and dovetail that together with what's already there and so on. And just say, hey, because the other thing they weren't doing is, if you're going to have all the actors together, you might want to bring them together for at least one paid read-through, which wasn't happening either. So slowly over time, the ADR for anime became more like the ADR for other properties. Even the scripts changed. Because there was a time when we actually used regular script format, which most writers call 50 point, where, it looks like a movie or a TV script, and actual dubbing scripts are in columns. But, that was part of the transition. Also, we did Godanner in that earlier script format, and then a few years later, we finally caved in and went with the columns. So working on Godanner. And I enjoyed watching the show afterwards because I'm a fan, and I loved all the fan service. Golly. This show jiggled a lot. So say there, I think ADV still had a gigalometer or something like that, or gigalometer, I'm sorry, where they just had a little thing up in the corner of the screen that would just tick off every time something bounced. Whether it was male or female, give them credit for that. But that was the Godanner experience. Record in pairs and watching things bounce afterwards.
Awesome. All right. Next question. What was it like working on Gatchaman/Gatchaman crowds?
Well, that's interesting.
Sure is.
Because I also had to write the second season. Gatchaman crowds, even though it's kind of inferred by the G unit numbers of the kids on the new team, that they are supposedly descendant of the originals, there's still that thing about oh, we came to Earth to be the Gotcha Men, and that we're actually part of a galactic police force, and going, no, that's not what the first one was about. So it has the flavor of retconning the concept that it's something that could be done kind of cockeyed. I think there was kind of a transition that maybe the groundwork for it got laid, and they kind of examined it with the live action film that was made in 2013, because that film opens with young kids talking about, okay, if we're chosen by the stone, we'll end up being the Galactor. What? And then whoever subtitled the thing realized, oh, they're the Gotcha Man. Whatever. I don't think that's been licensed. Be nice if Sentai gets that just to keep everything together. You would hope maybe with the deal they struck with Tatsunoko that it might be on the shelf, but you never know.
Right.
But, you know, the notion was laid for some retconning about how the kids actually may have gotten their powers from outer space instead of being trained in ninja fighting techniques. I'm sorry, you know, there are enough shows out there that make you believe a ninja could do anything. So, you know, why not have a science ninja team that also knows how to fly a starship? Why not? But, I mean, I don't know what the idea was for, you know, that they thought they needed to retcon things. But,
it's
I don't know. Well, you know, Hajime being cute and spunky makes up for it, I guess. Being able to write for her was cool, too. But anyway, yeah, so what are the differences? Obviously, the first series, you know, now that it's been seen in its entirety, you can definitely say, okay, before Captain Planet, the first series was definitely, ecological monster of the week. And, you know, the last episode kind of comes in on a cliffhanger because the title is Earth's Destruction 0002. Obviously, I like being able to narrate all of them, but there was no narrator in the other two series. But it was enough of a flavor that, other than bringing in Leraldo Anzaldúa as the voice of, what was his name in Crowds?
I forgot.
But anyway, he's like the guy who, you know, deals out all the wisdom. But none of the other original voices make it back. There was enough of a retcon going on there. They said, well, you know, if we bring back at least one of the original actors and what the heck, make it Ken, we'll be giving some love to the original series. Because as it is right now, Sentai holds the rights to Gatchaman 2 and Gatchaman Fighter, and it's been released in subtitle format. I don't think there are any plans to write a script for it or dub it, because I think part of the reason for that is, you know, people might have been keeping their finger on the pulse of some fan reactions to things that have already been imported, and some of those things were along the lines of, the animation isn't up to snuff with the first season. I don't like what happens with this character, and or that character between seasons, and I'm going, as a Gatchaman fan, I'd like to see it dubbed. I grow wary of sometimes online voices contributing too much to the online demise of something before you have a chance to get your grubby mitts on it, and as Scott McClellan would say, find the gold. And every show has something in it. But
okay, well,
I guess the other thing in the flavor of crowds was this notion of, well, actually, a lot of the kids were high school age, but there was this notion of a lot of shows where they had the high school kids fighting with each other and taking jabs at each other, and her boobs are bigger than mine, and this guy acts cooler than I am. And then there's Oh, I forgot. Yes, there was another member of the original voice cast. Lucy Christian was the panda. I forgot. Yeah, you gotta throw out some love for the panda. And she was always like, I'm supposed to be running this. Hang on, panda boss, we're fighting over here. It's like, you better listen to me when I'm talking to you. Oh, I'm sorry, did you say something? Yeah. Great supervisor work there. Now, when Geraldo's character talked, it's like E.F. Hutton. Everybody listened. Anywho, but yeah, that's how I would distinguish those two. Maybe not in the most technical sense, but...
Okay, no, that works. It's a question. That's why we ask.
Yeah.
All right, another show you worked on, now moving away from ADV stuff. What was it like working on Golgo 13?
Interesting. We did all the voices in one day. Those of you who have seen my credits on, Anime News Network, I think, has the most comprehensive list. Then all of a sudden, behind the voice actors, got a comprehensive list afterwards. It's not like I'm trying to start a fist fight between them. I just noticed that, it's here and now it's there. But it's strange because among the characters I played for Stephen Foster, usually I come into one, maybe two guys, and he just kept hitting me with guys all day long. Except for the Irish dude Doherty, who was trying to get some crooked dude to help pay for his wife's medical bills. And I don't know how that ended, but I'm pretty sure that Duke Togo shot somebody. But just to do all those guys, and the problem I had in sessions is that after he had me do the Irish guy, he had me do a British guy for the next character, and I kept slipping back into the Irish accent. Because they're close in terms of placement and what you do with your tongue and your teeth and all that. But once you do one, and then they ask you to do another, I don't know. And because I was like 6 other characters before then, I had a brain fart and just kept slipping back into the Irish guy. And it's weird because it was an older Irish guy, so you think it would have been just different enough. But, yeah. Other than that, I was saying it was a busy time. Had me play a lot of characters, because I think that was the flavor of Golgo 13 that had like 80-something episodes.
Mm-hmm. And tons of characters.
Yeah. Yeah. They all had a little bit of juice to them, so it wasn't like I was playing the same guy getting shot over and over again. It was cool.
All right. Another show you worked on, What was it like working on Hakuoki?
Hakawoki. Yeah. Being the dependable, gentle giant, Kai Shimada. I actually wrote the 2 movies. The Blue Sky of a Samurai's Spirit, and I believe the other one was, the Boisterous Dance of Kyoto. At least I think there's another translation for boisterous. It's more like energetic, whatever. All those guys are running around killing people, but and basically each of the movies was an encapsulation of the series. But yeah, being Kai was, I said yes sir a lot, and had very little action actually. Not just in the movies, but I was always the guy who got ordered by the captains of or the vice commander of the Shinsengumi to go get somebody ready, make sure they're safe. Yes, sir. That was my dude. Which again was refreshing instead of getting shot or blown up or because I can scream on microphone as well as the next guy. Probably have a library of it. Maybe why I don't work as much as I used to. You got those manly screams left over? Yeah, I use those. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, it was interesting to be part of the Shinsengumi. Not as much fun as Papua, though, where I was actually Isami Kondo. The perverted wants to do his own guy's version of Isami Kondo. Every other guy who's been Kondo is the heroic, stoic, kicks everybody's butt version of Kondo. Yeah, I'm the Heath Ledger version of Kondo. I don't know how to quit you. Let me see your sword. I'll take you anywhere. Yeah, so that was Papua. And for some strange reason, hasn't been relicensed by anybody. Go figure.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
Yeah. Maybe if I suddenly become a multi-millionaire in lottery winnings, I'll license rescue all the things that I'm in, but is no longer in print. Funny that Discotech actually has the rights to the dub we did of Cromartie High School.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Maybe they would do it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe them. So I said, if they'll pick up Cromartie High School, I don't see why they wouldn't pick up Papua, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question. Here's what I've been waiting for. What was it like working on Hamatora? Yeah.
Though for me, the genesis of my year working on White Critters.
I think you mixed up again. Hamatora, not Hakuden.
Oh, I did that again. I screwed it. I got Hakuoki and Hamatora mixed up again. Yeah. Let me jete to Hamatora. Yeah. Being a giant monster man who kind of looks like a lion with a hottie teen sidekick, that was pretty cool. That was really cool. Being the one guy on the team that nobody screwed with, pretty much, was also cool. The second season where Honey suddenly becomes a 6-year-old if she uses her power too much, and then I have to go from maybe being this guy who has a semi-crush on her to being a fatherly figure who does a a whole bunch of lion noises to calm her down. So you had to go from being kind of hot for her bones to being the reassuring father figure. Yeah, there are no twists in that relationship at all. But Hamatora, the flavor of that has always been, high school dropouts, rock and roll in their own profession kind of feel. Because you don't hear about how, actually, I think one or two people on the team is still in high school. I think. But most of them are like, screw society. We got our job. But yeah, Hamatora, it's the show that answers the question, how many different flavors of sassy can you do without it getting tired? And I got to play with that as the writer, particularly because I think there were these in season 2. I don't remember in season 1 because I didn't write it, but I know season 2 always had these little mini skits, like if the commercial break ended with some kind of cliffhanger or something. Usually the eye catch before the show came back on was some comedic resolution to the cliffhanger. And the funny thing is, sometimes they carried it over into the episode, and sometimes they changed directions. And at least I think that's how it went. It's been a while since I wrote it, but those are the impressions it left me with, whether they're 100% true or not.
The animation was pretty, I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now it's time for funny little question I'd like to ask you.
Oh.
If you can be any character you have played in real life, who will you be? And you can mix and match.
I can mix and match. Huh?
Yep.
I don't know. I know there's one character that I wrote that I wanted to play, but when I found out who got cast, I couldn't complain because I've actually written for that guy before. In Black Bullet, the crazy dude with the mask that ended up getting played by Jay Hickman. He was brilliant. And I know this because I wrote another one of his characters who wore a mask and acted like he was losing his ass all the time in 0091, who called himself Phantom. And I'm like, oh, geez, this is almost the same character, yeah. Go, Jay, go! But I wanted to be that guy. I was like, this is the closest I'm ever going to be being the Joker.
Oh, definitely, yes.
But it didn't. But any character that I played, though, let's play nice. Let's play fair. Because I've played some pretty rockin' cats. But honestly, I think the one character I'd like to be that I've played is Schnitzer from Bodacious Space Pirates. Nobody messes with the cyborg. And he has his little funny moments. How would you like to escort the princess through the ship? No thanks. Yeah. Christopher Ayers said that was the line he cast me as Schnitzer for. Because he knew I would deliver it just like that. And I'm like, well, done and done. Funny side story about bodacious space pirates. We got into the second block of episodes, and it was right after I had my double bypass surgery, about a week after. Said, "You want to reschedule?" "No, I want to get out of this house and do something that says I'm being me."
That's dedication.
And yeah, and that included all the snarls and growls and everything. I said, "Are you having any pain right now?" "Of course, I got my chest cracked open, but let's finish." Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Said, I've got pain medication at home. My sister's driving. I really wanted to. I could have brought more here, but I didn't want to mess my acting up. Because there is a certain amount of Norco you can take, and your writing and acting will taste like blah. Anywho, so, yeah. Any person I'd want to be. Schnitzer. Most deaf.
Okay. All right, next question. Is there anything else coming out that you can talk about, or anything you want to plug in at this time?
Yeah, because you gotta bring up a good point there, because usually as a writer, I get projects so early in the development cycle that NDAs especially are meant for us. Because we got to write them before people say them. Because sometimes I would make little memes out of things I was working on. No video, just a frame cap. And they were like, "Do you realize people are calling us and asking us if we're dubbing this title?" And I'm like, comrade, I'm sorry. But yeah, we get things so early. I'm trying to think of the last thing I worked on that's been announced, that people have already been in the booth on. But there's this little folder I go to that'll show me what I've been working on. Should be documents, not downloads. There we go. Yeah. I think Onigiri's been out for a while.
Yep, I have it.
I spotted the scripts on, haven't you heard, on Sakamoto.
Yep, I have it. Yep.
They are finally getting to the episodes I wrote on Ushio and Tora, because I think they've been doing that as a weekly release.
Yep.
Because Emily Neves actually wrote the first 13 episodes. Some bits of swear I was on and off with Udawari Rumino, The False Faces. Let's see. Yeah, Hana Yamata, both seasons. Girls with Panzer, der movie. Gate.
Yep.
People love Gate. I'm happy that you love Gate.
Yep.
I am a Gate fan. I had a piece of Diabolique Lovers 2. Wrote Dramatical Murder. Both seasons of Chihayafuru. Brynhilder in the Darkness. And I spotted Amagi Brilliant Park, which I believe was written by David Wald.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. And I can't think of anything from my most recent that was that has been announced yet. So,
okay.
To keep my ample behind out of the sling, I'm not going to mention them.
That's fine. That what you just listed will suffice.
Yeah. Cool.
And now we've come to our very last question. And we ask
Oh.
this to all the voice actors. Any Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media for the fans to contact you?
Well, because my voice does fit in this really narrow niche, I just have one account apiece on Facebook and Twitter, and the name of both is Mr. Manley, so not hard to find. There is no George Manley, the voice actor, separate voice acting thing or, separate thing for writing. I'm like, I mean, that's what I tell guys who threaten me online, too. It's like, not hard to find either. Would you like me to give you my address here, or would you like me to PM it to you? Little things like that. I don't hide much, but I realize that has to do with, the fact that I'm not that well-renowned, shall we say. I don't get the worst of some people's behaviors either. I mean, I have people who've had their phone number listed in the Houston phone book, who have been called in the middle of the night about a decision a director made. And then they finally decided, 1, I'm changing my phone number, 2, not having it listed. And, yeah. And if I see that number again, I'm blocking it. And, for some of our more famous people, they do have their own websites. They have separate accounts, one for just their friends and one for Facebook friends, one Twitter account for friends, and another one for if you want to be a fan, that's fine, but here's the slot you fit in here. I mean, I follow more people on Twitter than I actually follow me. It'll be nice if Dina Meyer follows me back, but yeah. I mean, I have Dizzy Flores and one of my favorite shades of Batgirl. I'm sorry, but Dina Meyer in the Batgirl outfit. Anyone wonders whether Mr. Man is a fanboy, look no further than a couple of times they put Dina in the Batgirl outfit in Birds of Prey. So before I ended up in this chair, okay, she was hot in the chair too, but I know it's what is it? What's the saying now? Unwelcome and inappropriate.
I don't think I know that saying.
Actually, it's the other way around. Inappropriate and unwelcome.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I had to hear that from a couple of people, so maybe it isn't widespread yet, but, that's a cause that Ashley Judd is currently championing. So between her celebrity and folks who follow NASCAR, because she's married to a NASCAR driver, I will always remember Robin Leffler from Star Trek The Next Generation. And I'm like, that's the person that uniform was made to fit. But I digress. kind of stamping all the cards and getting all the holes punched on my dirty old man card right now. Anyway.
Yeah, well, thank you. We appreciate having you on this episode. We appreciate it.
Oh, well, hey, good to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
More than happy to talk business. As long as it's stuff that NDAs let me talk about, I will talk your ear off all night long.
You sure will. And
Yeah, but I owe my yeah. But
and
I owe myself a nap or something.
Go ahead, take one.
Yeah, all right.
All right, everyone.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you, everyone, for joining another episode of the Ohio Guys. Thank you. My name is Christian.
Yep, and see you in the funny papers, everybody.
Bye-bye.